Same conference where John Legend talks criminal justice reform, Ashton Kutcher analyzes AI, Alex Rodriguez opens up on mentorships, and Senator Joe Manchin talks politics. Conrad Keishel is the executive director of global programming for the Milken Global Conference in Beverly Hills.
Events are back.
He says over 4 days, there are 900 speakers, 130 sessions, and 4,000 attendees.
People coming back in person, being together, being able to see new faces, old faces, connect as human beings is an incredible thing.
So all of those 130 sessions can be streamed for free right now in their entirety at milkeninstitute.org. This gathering also bringing together some of our favorite political pundits.
Great to see you. It's great to see you, my old friend.
We sit down with ABC News political director Rick Klein and Axios publisher Nicholas Johnston at the Milken Conference, then check out Politico's after party to talk with columnist Jonathan Martin, Democratic strategist James Carville, and reporter Eugene Daniels.
How would you describe the state of the 2024 campaign right now?
Chaotic.
Right now, people just don't seem that excited about it.
Right now, clearly, Trump and Biden are the frontrunners, at least.
The easiest answer that I give to people who ask me about presidential politics is like, you ask who's going to win the next presidential election, is very often the person who's currently president. If you want to ask who's going to be the next nominee, well, it's probably the guy who was the last nominee.
So you could imagine a scenario where it's these two front runners, the two guys that ran last time, waltz to the nominations and then clash again next fall. You could also imagine any number of worlds where all of that collapses. It's been a challenge planning out our coverage, even thinking we might just be two major candidates. We might have 20.
A recent poll shows 70% of Americans don't want Joe Biden to run again. Yet these pundits say the 81-year-old is still a stronger nominee than Vice President Kamala Harris.
There's a widespread perception, whether it's warranted or not, that Kamala Harris cannot win or would not win the presidency, and that the Democrats need to try to avoid that.
They're alarmed that if Joe Biden does not run again, that trying to stop Kamala Harris or urge her not to run would be a really messy process in the Democratic coalition.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's indictment seems to have helped him in the GOP primary. His lead is growing.
We saw a lot of interest in DeSantis and maybe an alternative candidate early on. We've seen Trump's numbers only get better in the last couple of months, even with the indictment.
There's still a lot of Republicans who say they want an alternative to Trump. And so is that going to be Nikki Haley? Is that going to be Tim Scott?
Are they a party of Donald Trump? Are they a party of the new folks?
There is no Republican party outside of Donald Trump. He's it.
How's Gavin Newsom seen around the country?
Yeah, I think he's seen as the hot new thing. He has kind of an Obama-esque, like new car quality to him in Washington, D.C.
I mean, the only question that I would have, or other people would have, is how well does he travel outside of California? Can he go to Fish Fry in South Carolina? It's 80% black and run him over. That's his challenge, and we don't know that he can, or we don't know that he can't.
The challenge he has, Alex, is that there's nowhere to go for him right now. He's not going to challenge a sitting president in Joe Biden. And then if he waits until 2028, which seems more likely, well, the former senator and incumbent VP from his state could actually run for president. That could create a challenge for him, too.
A challenge for Democrats. California Senator Dianne Feinstein missing votes for months battling the shingles with no return date set.
Right now, Senator Feinstein's absence is being felt, but I think it's only going to grow over time.
The longer this goes, Alex, you're going to see more and more Democrats calling on her to step down, which would be the end of a really storied career in California, but also in American politics.